broadcast. Columbia, Nashville, recording artist Jameson Rogers here. What's going on, my friend?
Oh, not too much. Just trying to survive. Can you hear the thunder and lightning in the background? It's coming
I
from
love it.
Nashville.
Man, I'll tell you what, I used to live in South Florida, and it stormed a lot there, and I was afraid of it at first because I'm a California girl. We didn't get a lot of that here. We just get earthquakes.
Oh God.
But I know, right? But when I was there in South Florida, I learned to really like the sound of the rain and the lightning and thunder and stuff. Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. I don't think I would like the sound of an earthquake. I don't think I would find
Well,
peace in that.
yeah, right. It sounds like it's a little rumbly, you know. For the most part, you're just feeling everything kind of shaking around. It's a little strange. You look up and you're like, lights are shaking, things are shaking. But anyway, enough of that. So you're from Batesville, Mississippi. Did you spend any time there during this recent lockdown?
I haven't really got to go down there a bunch just because I've been paranoid with, I don't want to be around my
Right,
parents and
folks.
grandmas, a
Of
ton
course.
during this. But I went down for Mother's Day, got to hang for a day down there then, and went down there and played in a little golf tournament with my dad and a buddy from high school one weekend. So I've went down a couple times. I need to go probably spend a little more time. They're probably judging me pretty hard right now.
Probably. Mom's probably giving you the stink eye right now. So how's the golf game? I mean, you've had plenty of time to play some golf. So what's going on there?
My golf game is very average at best.
It's better than very poor.
I can get them around all right. I'm not the greatest, not the worst, but I can hang.
What is it about the golf course that everybody just loves? It's like, you know what? I'm gonna go play some golf. My son's the same way. He loves golf.
Yeah.
I don't think he's not that great at it either. But there's something about it. I think it's the camaraderie with all your friends, having a cold one, being on the links,
It's absolutely all of that, and just being outside, especially right now. I mean, anytime you can go do something outside, it's feels like a blessing. You know what I mean? So it's that's why I like it.
Absolutely. I think the last time we saw you, Rick and I were talking about this a couple of days ago, but I think the last time we saw you was backstage at the Luke Combs Beer Never Broke My Heart show.
Oh
There you
yeah.
are,
Which show was that? Which city?
Fresno.
Fresno. Nice.
See, there I am with you. It was good times. It was such a great time. And, when I'm thinking about, everything that's going on right now, I mean, this has got to be the hardest time for all of you recording artists, you people that tour, that play music, that bring music to us on the daily. That's probably the hardest part of all of this, is not being able to be out and live in front of the people you love.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what people like me live for. You know what I mean? It's a drug. Music is a drug, and I guess the only silver lining to it all is that we've all gotten to write a little bit more the last few months than usual. I've written written more the last 4 months than I have in the last couple of years, probably. So I guess
it's pretty amazing.
Lining. But yeah, it's cannot wait to get back on the road. I know all my other artist buddies are feeling the same.
I'm sure. So here in 2020, like, what is the most important thing you think you've learned from being off the road these last few months?
Oh man, great question. Not to take stuff for granted.
Boom. Right?
You know what I
No
mean?
kidding. Yeah.
I'll be happy to be tired all weekend and get up early and get an early flight to go across the country and play a show and yeah, all of that stuff.
I think it's like everything got put on pause, and you're like, you've had to take that time to really think about your life.
Yeah, and how good we had it. You know what I mean? Gosh, I mean, I'm a lucky dude. You know what I mean? I got to play 62 or 3 arenas last year with Luke, and thank God that didn't happen last year. You know what I mean? Because that would have been
right.
That would have been a bummer not getting to do that and experience that whole ride. So definitely a bummer, but I think it's better days ahead.
Absolutely. I am a optimist myself, so I'm always thinking forward and thinking, things are going to get better. That's how I live. I live by faith, man. It's like,
Yeah.
I try not to live in fear. Today is what we have today, but tomorrow is going to be better. That's the way I see things, and that's how I've always lived. Um, so, you've been doing a lot of writing. You said this whole thing for you has kind of, you've been at it for a while, but when you look back for a hot second, this all kind of happened. Everything kind of pieced together very quickly from college to where you are right now. I mean, it's only been what, maybe 8 years, 7 years? I don't know.
It's 10 years. I've been in Nashville 10 years next week, actually.
Oh, okay.
Next week is my 10-year anniversary. But it really seems like the last two have really been, everything's kind of gone my way. So I don't know how to explain it. I mean, they do call it a 10-year town, but
yeah,
I think it's just stars aligning and hard work over the years, kind of all coming together at the same time, and I'm just trying not to mess it up.
Oh no, you'll be fine. I think work ethic has a lot to do with it, and I also think connections, like connecting with people, making contacts, and I think that's super important as well, because relationships, everything is about relationships. No matter what business you're in, whether it's broadcast or music or whatever it is that you're doing, it's all about relationships. And so, I think you probably had to learn that really fast, and that's why you're sitting where you are today. I mean,
yeah, I mean, if they're
a recording artist,
it is every industry. Depends on good relationships, but music, I feel like especially depends on some good relationships. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'd be sitting here without knowing Luke Combs. I mean, God, he's opened a ton of doors just for letting me go out and play some shows with him last year. I mean, that opened a million doors. I got to meet you. I got to meet a million people last year. Don't know if that would have happened so soon had I not known Luke. You know what I mean? It might have happened in a couple years, but just little stuff like that you just can't plan. You know what I mean? It's just, I think God puts people in your path for a reason. And
oh yeah, no doubt. And I mean, Luke, his story is completely a trip when you think about his story as well. Excuse me. But I love the new song "Cold Beer Calling My Name," by the way.
Oh, thank you.
With you and Luke on it, it's great. I was just listening to it a couple minutes ago. But you've written quite a few songs. You've got some songs for Florida Georgia Line, Chris Lane. I mean, you're just really on a roll right now, and that's got to feel pretty doggone good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I moved here, I kind of just wrote songs for like the first 5 or 6 years, and so it's I think that's kind of all that hard work and the stars aligning is kind of lining up at the same time, and just blessed to get to be in the rooms with so many great writers every day. I mean, today I got to write with Mitchell Tenpenny and another good buddy of mine. So it's just like, I can't believe I get to write songs. I mean, they're like my friends now. It's so weird. 10 years ago, I'd have been like, man, if I can just get in the room with, Josh
and
Thompson, that would, and that now it's like those people that I was looking
up call them and see if they want to go golf now.
No,
right.
It's a weird thing.
That's a great thing. What a blessing. That's huge. So playing college baseball in college, and you're singing with your roommates. I mean, is that how you got the bug? Really?
I mean, I always sang. Like, I was always the guy walking around high school singing. You know what I mean? I'd be singing "Here's a Quarter" walking down the hallway of my high school, and people just kind of knew me as that. But I never picked the guitar up until I got in college.
Wow.
And never really, because I played baseball. I was playing baseball, and I was just like, well, I'm gonna play as long as I can, and played through junior college. And then when that kind of came to an end, I went down to Southern Miss, and I had a roommate that did spoken word poetry. I know that sounds weird, but
No, my son did spoken word, so I know exactly what it is.
So he was very talented, and so I was starting to play guitar, and so we just kind of collided those two worlds and started writing songs. And pretty soon our buddies were, asking us to play these terrible songs around the campfire, and the
more you drank, the better they sounded, right?
And so I talked him into moving to Nashville. We didn't know a single person. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. We did not know one soul in Nashville. And God, what a journey that's been.
That's so cool. What a great story that is. So you hang up your cleats, you're like, hey, let's do this. The dream begins. And then, I mean, as far as songwriting, when did you start doing that? Like, were you always writing, like when you were doing this stuff in college, the spoken word and all that, you guys were writing stuff then?
Yeah, that's when I started writing. When I picked the guitar up and started learning how to play guitar, that's when I kind of started learning how to write as well. That kind of came at the same time. I was senior in college, maybe. So I was late bloomer. I mean, there's so many other of my buddies that are artists that have been playing and singing since they were, 3 years old. And so
right.
I can't believe that. It's probably why it's taking me longer to get this thing going. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't call it a late bloomer. I would call you an on-time bloomer, because everything happens in its time. You know what I mean? It's about timing for every single thing that you do. I feel that's my personal thought about that. And yeah, timing is everything.
Absolutely.
And you're right on time.
Have you ever heard that song? It was in a movie. What was that? It was like a country music movie. It's called Timing is Everything. So good.
No, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
And it's true.
I know.
It really is. So let's talk about what you're doing right now. What's happening? I know Some Girls is going good for you right now.
It's rocking. I can't.
Yes. Lots of streams too. That's awesome.
I know. Thank y'all for playing it. I can't believe that. Honestly, I mean, I literally am living in a dream right now. It's insane. I'm just a simple old boy from Batesville, Mississippi that came up here and tried to, crazy enough to move up here and do it. I guess I've stuck around long enough that people are listening finally. But yeah, just trying not to watch the charts too much on that, and playing a little golf, writing a ton. Went down to Florida actually last week, kind of sat on the beach for a few days, which was nice to kind of get out and get out of the house. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I think the extent of me getting out of the house these days is going into my backyard and tending to my garden. That's about it.
I know. I got a new place here in Nashville right before the pandemic started, and I've got deer and stuff all in the yard, so they keep me
amused.
Yeah.
That's so cool to have nature so close to you, right in your own yard. That's very cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. So, are you going to play something for us right now?
Of course. Any
requests?
Well,
I'm going to let you pick what you want to play, what you want us to hear today. Yeah. I do have a request though.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that later, but I think it's a song. I don't know what it is about this song that I've always liked, but Midnight Daydream is a song that just has stuck with me, for a while now. So I will request that song for later, but you play something you want to play for us right now.
Okay. All right. Well, we talked about Luke Combs, so I'll play that one. The one I just played.
Yes. Cold Beer Calling My Name.
That's a good one to start off with.
Yes.
I'm not drinking a beer. I'm actually drinking some throat coat tea, but cheers. Happy Tuesday.
Cheers. Cheers.
All right, here we go.
Let's do this.
About to kick off the weekend. There's a stretching black top. I ain't never seen a cop, so I'm pushing it a little past 10. Pulled a little money from the bank, put it in the tank, shined up the windshield glass. gotta get there fast. There's a cold beer calling my name. Feel a good time coming, got a new song humming, and the sunset's doing its thing. Feeling lucky as a 7, and sometimes 7 is a pocket full of payday green. And my baby putting sugar on me. Yeah, it's sure been a pretty damn good day. There's a cold beer calling my name. Hey! There's a hillbilly rock show out here in the front row, holding up a red big flame. Old wraparound porch with a citronella torch. Yeah, you know I'm down either way. There's a chance that tonight might be the night that we ain't ever gonna forget. Yeah, everybody's turning it up. Got a little buzz. I ain't even had one yet. There's a cold beer calling my name. Feel a good time coming. Got a new song humming, and the sunset's doing its thing. Feeling lucky as a 7. Yeah, sometimes 7 is a pocket full of payday green. And my baby putting sugar on me. Yeah, it's sure been a pretty damn good day. There's a cold beer calling my name. It's calling my name. Cold beer calling my name. It's calling my name. Yeah, I'm gonna put a little chill in my weekend. Stay up all night, maybe sleeping. I'm gonna sip a little something. Ain't gotta worry about nothing, 'cause there's a cold beer calling my name. Yeah. There's a cold beer calling my name. Feel a good time coming, got a new song humming, and the sunset's doing this thing. Feeling lucky as a 7, yeah, sometimes 7 is a pocket full of payday green. And my baby putting sugar on me. Yeah, it's sure been a pretty damn good day. There's a cold beer calling my name. It's calling my name. Cold beer calling my name. It's calling my name. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
That sounds really good. So does the cold beer.
It really does, right?
Yes.
Tried
Good
to
job. I love
tried
that
to get
song.
Luke here for the show, but he's busy today, so
What's he doing? Feeding his chickens right now?
probably.
Oh my goodness, that's so crazy. I love that song too, by the way. Everybody go stream it right now or after you're done listening to this. Cold Beer Calling My Name, Luke Combs, and Jameson Rogers. All right, y'all. There was something that I did want to bring up because I saw this on your Instagram page and I thought, certain people really make an impact on your life. They touch your life in a special way. And after the loss of Charlie Daniels, I think that was hard on everyone in country music. It truly was. It was for me. I had an opportunity to chat with him, and he was gracious as he always is. And that's what you hear from everybody is how wonderful he is. He gave you a very special memory at your debut at the Opry. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously when you debut at the Opry, it's a crazy special night. And so I had a ton of family and friends there, probably 20 or 30 people backstage the whole night. And so it was a chaotic night. I was one of the first ones to play. And so I hadn't even, Charlie he was closing the show that night. And so I hadn't seen him the whole night. And I played my show, and it's 20, 30 minutes later, and I'm standing in the hallway, and here comes Charlie Daniels, and I'm like, oh man, there's Charlie. And he walks straight up to me, and he's just like, Jameson, man, loved your set, man. I listened to it, loved the last song you played, and just sat and talked with me for 10 minutes. And my mom and sister were sitting there, and he struck up conversation with them. It was just like, he didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? It's just like,
right.
That's a this thing. You know what I mean? You don't.
Oh yeah.
People that do that just have a good one of these. And so just a really cool night, and kind of, I'm just glad that I got to see that, because that's the kind of dude I want to be. You know what I mean? So
You want to inspire people and
yeah,
be kind.
yeah. Because I mean, it's not hard to be nice. You know what I mean? It doesn't take a whole lot to. It takes more effort to be not nice.
Right.
But
It does. Calculation is what it takes to be evil.
Funny story though. This new house it's new to me, but it's not a new
Right.
house. The first time I met my neighbors, they were like, "Oh yeah, Charlie Daniels used to live right down the street. That's the house he wrote Devil Went Down to Georgia in back in like the 70s." And I was just like, so every time I drive by that house now, that's what I think of.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great having the conversation with him. I talked to him, I want to say back in 2013, or was it 14? About 2014, I believe. And I've always been intrigued with his relationship, his friendship with Ronnie Van Zant and Leonard Skinner. So
yeah,
I had that opportunity to pick his brain about that friendship, and it was really a great conversation.
Yeah, he's God, that dude. The friends that he's had along the way. I mean, it's
lots of history, man. Lots of stories.
Unbelievable.
Well, that's what you're doing right now in your career and in your life, is you're creating memories, and you're going to be telling stories, to people down the road.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I hope so. Every artist kind of gets you get a window of time that you get to do it. Some are short, some are Charlie Daniels long, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
So any window you can get is pretty cool.
Well, when he started in country, people didn't consider him country. They said, "Well, you're not country." He goes, "Well, I'm not trying to be country. I am who I am, and I am what I am. I just play music, and it's what I love to do." And so, but later, obviously, he was very much embraced by the country music community. Yeah. Member of the Country Music Hall of Fame, member of the Opry.
Yeah.
So, it was great talking to him about the history, kind of going back and talking about that stuff. And I saw that he gave you a bow from his fiddle.
Oh, no, but he gave Travis Denning one.
Oh, he gave Travis Denning one?
Yeah.
I thought he'd given you one. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
That would be insane.
Right.
I think he gave Travis one, which was just nuts.
Right. I probably would have passed out. It's like, No, I really am. I really was saddened over that. And when you think about certain artists that have inspired you over the years in country music, like especially some of our elders, some of the shoulders that you stand on today, who are the people that have really inspired you as an artist?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about the older generation, I mean,
sure.
Charlie, I definitely say Charlie, but I'm trying to think. Like my dad always listened to George Jones. That was like his guy, and Merle. So I kind of, when I first started singing karaoke and stuff, as a young teenager, that's kind of what I would go to those two, or Conway Twitty and
Hello, darling.
Oh man, you want a man with slow hands.
Oh yes. And the ladies everywhere listening to the broadcast are going,
Oh my God. But I mean, 90s country, God, I mean, love some 90s country, and with the whole baseball background, I mean, I grew up listening to that rock stuff too, like the Springsteen and the
Eagles
and AC/DC. I love all that stuff too. So,
do you know Back in Black by AC/DC is what, 40 years old now?
Is it really?
Yeah, I was like, really? That song still rocks. I don't care.
Yeah, I think as far as voices and music ever, that dude is one of the most unique, coolest voices ever.
Oh, the frontman, Brian Johnson.
Yeah.
Is it Johnson? Yeah.
I can't remember.
Oh yeah. Brian he's got this raspy old voice.
God.
It's pretty amazing. Good stuff. So you've got to be missing that face-to-face, audience connection right about now. So are you guys planning right now to get back out on the road? I mean, is there like a plan right now going forward for 2021? Are you guys like, hey, we got to do this?
Yeah, we've definitely. So I originally moved the dates from this past spring to this fall, and recently had to kind of move those dates to the spring, and so it's kind of been a whole year delay. So I'm just praying that we get to play in the spring. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
mixed reviews on what'll happen. So
I know everything is kind of up in the air, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, unfortunately, the music industry will be the last thing to probably come back. You know what I mean? It'll be sports probably will be, as far as like with a ton of fans, I'm sure
Right.
sports will probably beat us to that just because it will. But yeah.
I think folks are starting to get pretty creative in terms of how they're bringing music to people. I mean, I'm looking at these drive-in shows and I'm like,
Yeah.
They're just starting to take off, and you never know. It might just be the way to go for a little while to make some money, to be able to pay your band, to be able to pay get paid yourself and pay your bills. I mean, that's got to be a huge concern for you at this time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's my brothers. You know what I mean? That's my family.
Exactly.
Been fortunate enough to take care of them so far up to this point, but definitely probably going to have to get creative here soon and figure some stuff out. But I'm optimistic. I've never done a drive-in show, so I'm open to that idea. Yeah, we'll be thinking of something.
Yeah. Well, there's got to be ways, and we just have to just continue to think outside the box. I mean, look how this thing has taken us into the virtual age where everybody's on, virtual shows or virtual performances and that kind of thing. But there's got to be other ways to get out in front of folks. And I think if we just keep thinking about it and figuring things out, we'll come up with some really good ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super.
So tell me how you heard. I mean, how long have you known Midnight Daydream? That's funny. I was not expecting you to say that.
Well, what's funny is I think we had a conversation I want to say it was, well, because I'd been streaming you and I heard the song and I'm like, man, I dig that song a lot. And then you came and played a show for us as well at a free concert series show in Hanford.
Yeah.
And I think you played the song. I asked you to play it, if I'm not mistaken.
I've played it.
Because I always, what was that?
I mean, if I play a full set, I'm definitely playing that one.
I love that song. And I think I even told you at the Luke Combs tour when we were backstage talking, I said, well, you got to release that as a single. I love that song. And it gotten a lot of streams too on streaming.
Consistently in my top 5 on Spotify since 2016. It's honestly unbelievable at this point.
I love the song. So that's kind of why I asked you to play it.
Yeah, I'd love to play it. Speaking
Sweet.
of Hanford, isn't that it? I could be dreaming. I went to a million places last year, but don't they have the good ice cream spot?
Yes, Superior Dairy.
Yeah.
You guys went afterwards, didn't you?
We did.
Did you get the sundae or did you just get a scoop?
I think I might have got a milkshake actually.
Oh, okay. Then you needed a spoon to eat that because
yeah, no.
There you are in Hanford, right there.
Yeah, they don't slack off on the sugar there for sure.
No. Oh, nice masks you guys were wearing backstage there. Paige and Rick. Love it. But that was fun times.
I have not played this song since our last show. So that was February. So if I mess it up, forgive me, all right?
I'm gonna jump through this screen and smack you if you do. I'm joking. He's like, oh, good. I was not expecting that.
No, I
wasn't. I'm joking.
Right. Let's try this thing.
Let's do it.
Baby, I broke down and went and found somebody new. She ain't from Mississippi, but she looks a lot like you. And something crazy happened when I took her home last night. She invited me inside. She turned down all the lights. I found myself inside a midnight daydream. Baby, if you saw it, then I know it may seem like I'm moving on. But every time I touch her, every time I taste your kiss, I just feel your lips, can't snap out of this midnight daydream. Like I'm still with you. Midnight daydream, damn it, girl, I miss you. She led me up the stairs into a bedroom down the hall. Put her hands under my shirt and pinned me up against the wall. She kissed me on my neck and whispered like you used to do. She was slipping off her dress and I was slipping into midnight daydream. Baby, if you saw it, then I know it may seem like I'm moving on. But every time I touch her, every time I taste your kiss, I just feel your lips, can't snap out of this midnight daydream. Like I'm still with you, midnight daydream. I watched the blue eyes turn to green. It was your hands all over me. Like you never broke my heart, like nothing ever changed. Damn, I almost called her by your name, girl. Midnight daydream, yeah. Midnight daydream. Baby, if you saw it, then I know it may seem like I'm moving on. But every time I touch her, every time I taste your kiss, I just feel your lips, can't snap out of this midnight daydream. Like I'm still with you, midnight daydream. Damn it, girl, I miss you. Yeah. Something like that.
You're safe, my friend. You're safe for now. I love that song. I don't know what it is. At first time I heard it, I was like, man, that's such a cool song.
It's
Good
that's
job.
like one of my. I wrote that song probably 5 years ago on a writing retreat in Florida. So my buddy he was playing guitar and he played that lick,
And you went, hang on to that. We're going to use that.
yeah, and he was like, I have this lick, but I have no idea what to do with it. And I was like, well, that's funny because I have a title called Midnight Daydream that I have no idea what to do with. And so a couple hours later, we had it.
Very cool.
Pretty
So
cool.
where and what do you draw from when you write? I mean, is it from personal experience or is it from, family, friends, situations in your life? Where do you draw from, or is it from all of the above?
It's all of the above. I mean, it's past experiences, personal experiences. It's friends of friends of friends experiences. I'm when I'm writing the best is when I'm always listening for ideas. Like in conversation with you, I'm always, if I'm on, I'll be listening for ideas and able to have a conversation with you at the same time without sounding like an idiot. You know what I mean?
So are you constantly scribbling things down and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I have a notepad on my phone that just has a million ideas, and most of them are terrible. A lot of times I'll wake up in the middle of the night and put something down, and when I wake up, I'm just like, what was that? Must have been dreaming or something.
Must have been a midnight daydream. I'm good, huh? See what I did there?
But yeah, I mean, it's reading, Netflix, TV shows. I mean, it's always just trying to find the next good idea.
So I see that you were helping your buddy Hardy out. We were in his video for his song, The Current. I think that's a very cool song, by the way. And you must have had a good time making that video.
I'll tell you what, he had us in a suit for 8
yeah,
hours.
I saw that.
That was half the day. That was about 8 hours in a suit. And then the fire, like the scene where we're in a bonfire, I'm not exaggerating. It was minimum 90 degrees outside, and the fire was the hottest fire I've ever. And we had to wear it was like a fall look, and so we had jackets and stuff on. So everyone was just pouring sweat, but that's one of my favorite videos I've seen in a while. Just probably because I know everybody in it, but
right, you're all friends, just chit chat and BSing and stuff. But the song for the video, I actually went and watched it because I'm like, I gotta go check this out. Give Heaven Some Hell with Hardy. Basically, after anyone who's ever suffered a loss of a loved one could probably really relate to that song.
Oh yeah,
so
it's one of my favorite songs I've heard in a while, and yeah, glad it's from my brother.
Nice. You guys have any plans of doing some stuff together, or have you been doing stuff together recently?
Yeah, I actually wrote with Hardy yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Got a really cool song, and I see him all the time. I mean, we were in my Hunter Phelps. He's a writer artist.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
We were in his wedding this past weekend, so.
Oh, very cool.
I've seen too much of Hardy in the last few days. He's probably sick of looking at me.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. So, through all of this that we've been going through for the last several months, do you think your priorities have changed a bit through all of this?
Yeah, I mean, it's God, like I said earlier, you don't realize what you take for granted. I mean, we've been forced to kind of pause and realize what's important in life, and your health for one. That's what I take for granted the most. You know what I mean? You don't really think of your health until you get sick or somebody gets sick. And so it's definitely put that kind of stuff in perspective for me.
So what's the most important thing to you right now?
Gosh, you're going to get me in trouble. I mean, my girlfriend's in the other room, if I don't say
you better say her first.
I'll say my girlfriend is the most important thing.
Ah, that's sweet. Good for you. Just scored big old points. You got it right. And so I'm going to get ready. You got any more songs for us?
Yeah.
Before we wrap up?
I was going to play Some Girls if you wanted.
Yes, we've got to play the current single. What am I thinking? What have I been thinking? Good Lord, how did I forget that? I got all stuck on Midnight Daydream because it's such a sexy song.
Got you flustered.
It got me it's all warm up in here. Catching the vapors up in here.
Oh my gosh.
All right, my friend, let's do this. Some Girls, Jameson.
You got it. Pictures on her phone, tears in her eyes. Waterproof makeup ain't made for a breakup. On a Saturday night, and I say, how you been? Good, how about you? Funny how seeing you once after a few months gets you like that. Right back to telling folks I know all about some new guy taking you out. Then you unfollow me, then follow me back just so I know you're still around. Some girls get their mama on the phone, take a trip back home, pretend they never knew the guy. Some girls drink a bottle of wine, got an old extra text to get them through the getting by. Sometimes it's a clean break, stay on clean slate, moving on to something new. Sometimes some girls make it easy on you, some girls never do. Some hearts stay broke, some hearts don't skip a beat. Some people say goodbye, then try to make it alright, just like you're doing to me. But tonight I'm letting it rain. Yeah, some girls get their mama on the phone, take a trip back home, saying they never knew the guy. Some girls drink a bottle of wine, got an old extra text to get them through the getting by. Sometimes it's a clean break, stay on clean slate, moving on to something new. Sometimes some girls make it easy on you, some girls never do, so they don't. Yes, some girls never do. worth holding on to. Some girls never do. Yeah. Some girls get their mama on the phone, take a trip back home, pretend they never knew the guy. Some girls drink a bottle of wine, got an old extra text to get them through the getting by. Sometimes it's a clean break, stay gone. Clean slate, moving on to something new. Sometimes some girls make it easy on you. Some girls never do. Yeah, some girls never do. Sometimes some girls make it easy on you. Some girls never do.
Yes. Woo. Nice. You know, I was just thinking about you while you're playing that song. And I have the opportunity to do this with several artists that are coming through on radio tours. And they get to hear their song on the radio for the first time. So do you remember where you were when you heard Some Girls on the radio for the first time?
Two answers. The first answer was in my hometown, which it is legit. It's not a reporting station. So I guess the first time I heard it on a reporting station was here in Nashville.
Right.
Was the day it went for ads on radio, and my manager and them had a surprise set up, and they were like, we were at a party during CMA Fest or something, and they were like, hey man, we got a surprise at 9:20, like such an odd time.
Mm-hmm.
we gotta be in the car at 9:20, and it didn't even register with me. And we get in the car and it came on. It was just, I mean, that's the radio station that I've been listening to since I moved to Nashville, and so it was a pretty weird thing.
That had to be a pretty awesome moment. I remember seeing, I think I was seeing this on, just saw an article recently, a songwriter that worked with Gabby Barrett on her recent album, just heard her song on the radio for the first time. And she was just like, oh, like in tears, like, I can't believe this is happening. It was like her dream had come true. Yeah. And so she was so in that moment that I just thought that has to be such a very, very cool feeling when because it's a dream for you to, hey, this is what we want to do. We want to get on, we want to do country radio. We want to hear, our songs on the radio. We want to play to large audiences. These are all things that are part of your dream.
Yeah. And you don't get this industry, you don't get the instant satisfaction from hard work. It takes, in some cases, 10 years, 20 years. It just takes a long time. You know what I mean? So it's, when you finally get to experience something like that, it's pretty special. It's
pretty awesome. So my last question to you, my friend, will be, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh my God. Well, I wouldn't have guessed where I am now if you had asked me 5 years ago. So I hope I'm still getting to do this. I hope I'm playing the arena in Fresno, and we're hanging out backstage in 5 years. How about that?
I might have to have a little scooter to come see you. I don't know if I'll be the older I get, you know what I mean, my friend? I've been doing broadcasts now for 38 years.
That's awesome.
It's a long time, and I've been in country radio for quite some time, early in my career as well, back in the 80s. So it's been a fun ride. So yeah, if you're around 5 years from now doing your thing, which I certainly believe you will be, I'll be all old and everything, but I'll come see you.
I love that. I love it.
We are talking to Columbia, Nashville recording artist Jameson Rogers. Jameson, I wish you nothing but the best, my friend.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. You stay safe.
Yeah. See you soon in person.
Please come by and see us anytime. You got an open door policy for you, my friend.
All right. See y'all.
Take care.